Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go to Cash App, y'all. Y'all already know. There go to Cash App, $ Dean by any means. There go to PayPal at Dean by any means. Oh, y'all see that heart with the $? Well, that's the super chat. You can press that at any time your heart desire. Please say it with me, y'all. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated, y'all. David Benavidez. Oh, I know y'all. What y'all thought y'all wasn't going to get this? Y'all should have known you was going to get this. David Benavidez is absolutely a monster, and I'm very proud of this young man. Not only is he a monster, he's a class act as far as the boxing game. David Benavidez showed y'all what you are supposed to do. If you want to fight a big time fighter, but they're not fighting you, you put them in every position to duck you. Meanwhile, while building your own career in the superstardom, David Benavidez is putting himself in position where he doesn't need a Canelo Alvarez. And that's truly, and then he's starting to turn the tide, especially after the two fights Canelo Alvarez just announced. Lord have mercy. David Benavidez has turned the tide as far as when it comes to not only the black population, the Caucasian population, but much more important, the Spanish community. They're starting to come around to David Benavidez, man. I was very impressed with David Benavidez in this fight. David Benavidez did everything I said he needed to do in order to win this fight. David Benavidez showed that this is how David Benavidez won this fight. He always brings pressure, but the difference was from this fight, he didn't wait to start late. David Benavidez applied pressure from ding ding. And y'all know me, if you've been watching my channel, you know I love fighters that apply pressure from ding ding to ding ding. David Benavidez was really working. And you could tell David Benavidez has been working on his footwork. His footwork was drastically better in this fight. This is the best. This is the best his footwork has looked in any fight, and he needed to apply that against somebody as athletic, as skilled, as fast, as powerful as David Morrell. David Benavidez also won this fight from his defense. David Benavidez stepped his defense up. He was defensively responsible, even though he got hurt a few times in this fight. Because if he would have been the old David Benavidez, it probably would have went the other way. David Benavidez is somebody that everybody in boxing should be supporting, even though, shout out to manager Marty, I'm highly suspicious still. David, see, this is where y'all know I'm not just a fanboy. I'm highly suspicious of Devin. I'm highly suspicious of Bam. I'm highly suspicious of Terrence Crawford. I'm highly suspicious of David Benavidez. But I like Bam and David Benavidez and Crawford. I just don't like Devin. But y'all, when I say I'm highly suspicious of fighters that I like, y'all have no problem with it. When I say I'm highly suspicious of fighters that I don't like, Dean used a hater, whatever. David Benavidez is one of my favorite fighters, but the fact that he doesn't get tired, I'm suspicious of that. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. I mean, and act like I'm not suspicious of it. But if we go by this rule in boxing, if he ain't pop dirty, we can say we suspicious, but I can't put that jacket on him until that actually happens. Unlike Canelo Alvarez, who actually was suspended for taking PEDs and blah, blah, blah. But y'all don't care. Y'all support the man anyway. Whatever. David Benavidez, man, is one of the top 10 best fighters in boxing. And after that performance against David Morrell, for me, David Benavidez moved up. He's in my top 5. I think he was already in my top 5, but he's definitely in my top 5 right now. And to do all of this without being a belt holder is just so much more impressive. Like, when y'all say belts matter and all of this stuff, well, I can't tell because David Benavidez has done more in his career than a bunch of guys that got belts. Like a bunch of them. Like, you can't even, or David Benavidez might retire with a better resume than Canelo Alvarez. Yo, I want y'all to understand what David Benavidez has done. He fought Caleb Plant. He fought Boo Boo Andrade. He fights Govchik, and then he fights David Morrell, and then his next fight might be the winner of Baturbiev and Bivol. I don't know where we put David Benavidez, but you definitely got to put him. And if he beats one of them, David Benavidez is the top 3 fighter in boxing. I'm sorry. He's a top 3 fighter in boxing. And if Terence Crawford loses to Canelo Alvarez, he is a top 2 fighter in boxing. Him and Gervonta Davis. Sorry, Noah Inoue. Sorry, Bam Bam Rodriguez. I love y'all, but I can't. David Benavidez would be my second favorite fighter. I ain't even gonna say second favorite, maybe not my second favorite, but he would definitely be the person that I say is the second best fighter in boxing. And you won't really be able to argue it. And it will show you that y'all whole belt talk that y'all be talking about is asinine. Y'all don't really care about the belts like that, because the fact is, if David Benavidez beats Beterbiev or Bivol, it won't be because that he'd be the undisputed champ. It'd be because he beat one of them. It would if it wasn't for undisputed and he beat one of them, he would still be my second top fighter in boxing if Crawford loses to Canelo Alvarez like I expect him to do. Because we definitely going to make Terence Crawford loss against Canelo count, because he begged for this fight. He did everything. Ain't nobody tell him to go up 3 weight divisions. You got to. We are judging you as a 168 pounder, absolutely. And to be honest, see, I got to do this. I would still put David Benavidez number 2, even over Crawford. Even if Crawford beats Canelo. You want to know why? Because Terence Crawford, I know, can't beat David Benavidez. I know he can't beat David Benavidez. And even if you beat the guy that's been ducking David Benavidez, it just makes David Benavidez's case that much more stronger. That Canelo was willing to fight you, but not willing to fight David Benavidez. What would it be just as big of a fight, if not bigger? I actually think David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez would be much bigger, because I don't know nobody in boxing that don't want to see that fight. I know a bunch of people in boxing that's not that particularly that excited about Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. I have heard nobody say that they don't want to see David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. Every fan that is a boxing fan will be in attendance. To be honest, I think if David Benavidez for Canelo Alvarez, they would have to move it. They would have to fight in Texas at the AT&T Stadium just to fit the people that would come. I'm gonna be honest, because if you think I won't be in a building, I don't even need a hotel. I could just call my family up. I will be. All I need is a plane ticket and a ticket. I'm so impressed with David Benavidez. So proud of that young man. He's a class act. How he handled the press conference afterwards, as much respect as he gave David Morrell. He gave David Morrell his belt back. David Benavidez showed me as a man, I'm a fan of him. Even though I'm highly suspicious, but still, as a man, I am very impressed with that young man. Truly, I like the way he conducts himself. I like the way that David Benavidez stands on business. He don't let people say nothing slick out their mouth. He checks everything directly, straightforward, right to the point. And you got to respect that. As a man, I just respect that. And David stood on business. He worked on the things that he needed to work on. Oh, yeah, y'all. You remember what I keep telling y'all always about being first? Y'all might hear commentators say it, but I don't think y'all understand how important that is in boxing. David Benavidez won this fight because he attacked David Morrell first. He did not let David Morrell attack him. He did not let what was happening in the last 3 rounds happen in the beginning. If David Morrell would have been doing what he was doing in them last 3 to 4 rounds against David Benavidez in the beginning, he would have won the fight. But he didn't. And David Benavidez understood that I cannot get off to a slow start against David Morrell, because one thing both of them have in common, they get better as the fight goes on. Not worse, they get better, as David Morrell showed. But this video about David Benavidez, and we get in a video on David Morrell and how proud of that young man I am as well. David Benavidez has put himself after that fight into a different stratosphere of fighter. He's building an all-time legacy. He's building a Hall of Fame legacy, which I think if he just keep doing what he's doing, he's guaranteed in the Hall of Fame. One of the best middleweights, super middleweights, light heavyweights we have ever seen. You will put him up there with the Bernard Hopkins and the Roy Joneses and all of those guys. Yeah, man, shout out to David Benavidez, man. He did everything I thought he could do. That's why I was so, y'all know I love David Morrell. I think he's a phenom. I was hoping he won this fight just because I think it would have catapulted him to a different stratosphere. I thought David Morrell may pull it off, but I knew how big of a chance it was. Like, to beat the monster, you got to beat the monster. And I knew if David Benavidez did the things that he did in that fight, that's a tall task for any man. That's a tall task. And the thing I love the most about David Benavidez in that fight, he didn't go away from the combination punching. Boxers, listen to me, man. Work on combination punching. Combination punching. Him and David Morrell, I give both of them credit. But David Benavidez, the combination punching, man, it matters. It looks different to the eye. And then the thing people don't understand about combinations is how you set up punches that they don't see. It's hard to take on all of those punches when a guy going at you not getting tired. And he's scoring with him. He going to and then David Benavidez was attacking every level when he was throwing the combos. He wasn't just throwing head shot combination, a body shot combination. He was body, head, body, head, body, jab, push back, body. And that's how you break somebody down, y'all. It's like the running game in football. That's how you break somebody down. That singular punching. Like, if you're not Gervonta Davis or Beterbiev, not even Beterbiev, if you're not Gervonta Davis and Deontay Wilder, let's be honest, they're really like the only one-punch knockout fighters in boxing. Like, true one-punch knockout artists. It's them two. So, and Bacoli. We'll put Bacoli in there. I can't forget about my guy Bacoli. But David Morrell also was one of them. I'll put David Morrell in there. But you got a combination punch, man. So shout out to David Benavidez, man. He did an amazing job. I am so proud of that, man. Man, he just working his way up, man. He working his way up to become an all-time great. He just showed, like, David Benavidez probably got like some of the biggest heart in boxing, man. I cannot say how much more impressed I am with this young man. And I just wish him the best, and I wish that I hope he get the opportunities he want. But he making it so you have to give it to him. The people want to see him. Y'all already know what this is, though, right? Deem by any means. And I holla at y'all.